I'd like to start by thanking the members of the Swiss Parliament who have undertaken this initiative for their courage and for their success in making Switzerland the state that has gone farther than any other nation in the world to support the right of return of the Armenians of Nagorno-Karabakh. And I'd also like to mention in passing, several times today we've heard about the hostages who are being held in Baku. And I'd like to mention one in particular, a man named Bikin Uljekian, who is not a member of the political or military leadership of Nagorno-Karabakh and is not even a soldier. He's simply a civilian who was kidnapped by Azerbaijani forces 5 years ago and was recently hospitalized after a hunger strike that he carried out to obtain the right to have a phone call with his wife. The question before us today is, how will the conflict in Nagorno-Karabakh end? The Swiss Peace Initiative for Nagorno-Karabakh represents a remarkable opportunity to bring this conflict to an end based on justice, human rights, and mutual commitment to peace. The initiative envisions a peace forum for direct talks between Azerbaijan and the representatives of the displaced people of Nagorno-Karabakh to assure the safe return of both Armenians and Azerbaijanis to Nagorno-Karabakh and its neighboring regions, under the oversight and protection of the international community, to rebuild their communities and lay the foundation for peaceful coexistence. That's one way this conflict can end. If you ask the government of Azerbaijan, however, the conflict has already ended through military force. In October 2023, a month after conquering and depopulating Nagorno-Karabakh, Ilham Aliyev, the president of Azerbaijan, exulted, "Many reiterated that there was no military solution to the conflict. We have shown that there is." Having forced the Armenian population of Nagorno-Karabakh to flee, the Azerbaijani government is now insisting that Nagorno-Karabakh no longer exists. We at CSI have been told that diplomats and organizations working at the UN Human Rights Council in Geneva are under enormous pressure not to even use the name Nagorno-Karabakh. Just last week, the Azerbaijani delegation to the United Nations lodged a second complaint with the UN Committee on NGOs against CSI because we referred to part of Azerbaijan's, quote, sovereign territory with invalid or fictitious names, unquote, meaning Nagorno-Karabakh. And if the international community as a whole seems unable to respond effectively to the escalation of violence in Nagorno-Karabakh, that is largely because the international community is divided. In recent years, the larger struggle between the Russian Federation and its allies on one side, and the United States, the European Union, and their allies on the other, has defined the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict. Rather than working together to resolve the conflict, they have competed with each other for influence in the Caucasus region. And when Azerbaijan emerged as the richer and more militarily powerful state in the region, both sides tilted their policy towards Baku. The world is changing, however. Russia thought that it could win a quick victory in Ukraine. It failed. The United States and its allies thought they could use Ukraine to break Russian power in Eastern Europe. They failed. 8 days after U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan boasted that the Middle East region is quieter today than it has been in 2 decades, the terrorist group Hamas carried out an attack on Israel that would plunge the entire region into a war that is still ongoing. And this month, Pakistan and India, both nuclear powers, exchanged direct fire. This new normal of endless war, what the late Pope Francis called World War III fought piecemeal, has exhausted public opinion across Europe and North America and led to growing demands for change. Meanwhile, it seems that at least some countries in the international community are beginning to regret pinning all of their hopes on the Azerbaijani government. Western diplomats hoped that with Nagorno-Karabakh gone, they could quickly usher Armenia and Azerbaijan towards a peace treaty that would open up the region to trade and investment. Instead, Azerbaijan has refused to sign a peace treaty until its ever-expanding list of demands are met. These demands now include forcing Armenia to amend its constitution, and may soon include settling hundreds of thousands of Azerbaijanis on the territory of the Republic of Armenia. Predictably, giving Azerbaijan everything it wants and asking for nothing in return has not led to peace. It has led to more demands. On Wednesday, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio publicly confirmed that his government fears that Azerbaijan may soon invade Armenia. Today, facing this deadlock, there seems to be a new appetite for peace and cooperation in the international community, and all of the great powers, the US, the EU, Russia, have an interest in avoiding a new war in the Caucasus and establishing a durable peace. Today, Switzerland is drawing on its unique tradition of neutrality, mediation, and political independence to take a leadership position on this issue. Today, Switzerland is offering the United States, Russia, and the European Union a way out of the deadlock that they have created for themselves. By giving their backing to the Nagorno-Karabakh Peace Forum that the Swiss Federal Council has been tasked with holding in the coming months, these powers can reset the dangerously moribund peace process in the Caucasus and place the region on a path towards true peace, a peace based on justice. The trust and cooperation they will build with each other in doing so will make it easier to solve bigger problems. When Switzerland assumed its seat on the UN Security Council in 2023, Federal Councillor Ignacio Cassis used his opening speech to challenge the Council's members. He said, quote, "Yes, the multilateral system is under stress, but no, it is not bankrupt. The real failure would be to do nothing." Today, those words ring truer than ever. Thank you very much.